about a quarter cup of olive oil. And to emulsify these two liquids together, what you want to do is you want to add your balsamic vinegar to your bowl first, and then you want to drizzle your olive oil in a slow, steady stream. At first, you can just add a couple drops at a time, and then after you get quite a bit of olive oil in there, you can go ahead and add the olive oil just a little faster. And that'll give you a nice thick dressing. Now if you find out that your bowl is moving around too much on your table, go ahead and take a kitchen towel, grab the two corners, just twirl it up, and then just wrap it around, make a little circle on your table, place the bowl on top of the kitchen towel, and then that'll prevent the bowl from moving around. Okay, so we got about a quarter cup of olive oil in here, and you can see about the consistency is almost like honey when those two liquids get combined. And that's what you want. You don't want, in this recipe, you don't want your oil and your vinegar to separate on you. Sometimes you'll see chefs, they'll call it a broken dressing, and what that does is that just gives it a nice pretty look on the plate. And what you can do is you can, for a plate presentation, you can take your broken oil, take a nice little spoon, and put little drops on your plate. And that way you'll have your olive oil and your balsamic vinegar will be separated. And it just gives it it just gives it depth on your plate. Gives it a 3D look. So to that, you want to add 2 teaspoons of garlic. Make sure that gets mixed in there pretty good. Now, on your recipe it says 1 teaspoon of dried herb mixture. You want to use an Italian herb mixture for this recipe, because since it is an antipasto dish. So you just want about 1 teaspoon of that, just to enhance the flavor. Now, does anyone know the difference between seasoning and flavoring your dish? There's a difference. If you want to season your dish, you want to add salt to it. Salt will bring out the natural flavors of your ingredient. Now, if you want to add flavor, what you're doing is you're adding some type of herb mixture to your dish that enhances, that'll bring out the flavor. If you notice that a dish is too flat, too bland, doesn't have enough, just add a little bit of salt, and that should enhance the flavor of your dish. Okay?
Is there a difference between adding the salt to the once you poured it on, or should you just do it to the mixture that you have already?
Both. When you're sauteing with some onions, you want to add some salt to bring out the natural moisture and the flavor of the onions in the pot as it's cooking. And then at the end, once your dish is all done, you want to go ahead and give it a taste. If you find out that it needs to be corrected, then you add some more salt or some pepper if you like. Now there's all sorts of types of salt out there. There's sea salt, there's black sea salt, there's Hawaiian sea salt. If you're using a sea salt as opposed to iodized table salt, you want to be careful with the sea salt. The sea salt's a lot stronger. Just want to use a little less than the normal table salt. And I have here some parsley. You want about 2 tablespoons of parsley. I'm just going to rip up some parsley. Let me get my chef knife out. Now, when you're using a knife at home to dice, slice any type of fruits or vegetables. What you want to do is you want your knuckles to guide the knife. You want to make sure that your thumb is tucked behind your fingers. I don't know how many times I've cut my thumb, taking a few chunks out of it.
Yes.
It's not too fun, but it happens. You want to make sure that you tuck your thumb behind your fingers. Place your fingers in a scratching position, like if you were scratching someone's back or scratch your pet dog or your cat at home. That way your fingers are out of the way and you won't slice yourself. And you can go ahead and take your knife, and with the knife you can use your knuckles to guide that knife, and you can gauge how thick you want to slice your onions, how thin you want your onions sliced, how big of a dice, how small of a dice you want. And you'll never cut. And at the same time, you can go ahead, look away, see what your kids are doing, see what the dog's doing, and you know that your hands are out of the way, and you won't cut yourself. Now, it's a little different when you're cutting fresh herbs. What you want to do is you want to completely take your hand away from the cutting board, bring your fingers together, place them at the tip of the knife, and then that way you have a nice rocking motion for your fresh herbs. And that way you can just come back and forth. If you have to, bring it back together and just go at it that way. Okay? So I've got about 2 tablespoons of parsley in here. I'm just going to go ahead and toss that in. Now, let's say you don't have any fresh parsley at home, but you have a lot of dry herbs in your cupboard that you need to use. If the recipe calls for fresh and all you have is dried, you want to use 1/3 less to substitute for that fresh. Now for the basil, you just want to tear the leaves off, and that way you're just left with the leaves. The stem you can just discard, throw it away. For a recipe like this, I like to have a nice chiffonade of my basil. And basically what that means is what you can do is you can just bunch up your basil together, is one way. And all you do is you take nice thin slices out of that. And you'll get nice long thin pieces out of your basil, and that's what chiffonade is. If not, you can place one leaf on top of another. And once you get all your leaves one on top of another, you can just go ahead and roll it nice and tight. And then you can just do the same thing. Slice nice thin strips from that. So you get the same result any way you do it. And I'm just going to go ahead and toss that in
These
there.
are vegan, vegetarian chefs from the Atlantic
Give it a
Cooking
nice twist.
School
Another thing is if you have a pestle and
in
mortar at
South
home,
Lancaster,
you can throw in all your ingredients
Massachusetts.
into your pestle and mortar. You don't even have, you just break them up a little bit, put your whole garlic in there, and with the pestle you just want to break that open. That way you release the natural oils from the garlic and from your fresh herbs. And you throw that in, and that'll give you a little more of a rustic appeal to your dish. Pasta's almost done. Now for the last ingredient, I have here some sun-dried tomatoes. Actually, I got one more ingredient after this. And these are already in thin strips. Sometimes you get whole sun-dried tomatoes. Again, you just want to chiffonade the sun-dried tomatoes if you get them whole. And you want about 1 cup.
Now, those are packed in water, or
These are packed in olive oil.
what about the ones that come dry packed?
The ones that come in dry packed, you certainly can use that. This recipe calls for you to drain your oil. Now if you want to add more flavor into your dish, you can certainly take the oil that's in here, put it into a saute pan. you can use about 1/4 of a cup of oil, and that'll be your liquid. That'll be the oil for your dressing.
But if it's dry packed, you can
Just, yeah, slice it into thin strips.
You
Yeah?
don't have to hydrate them or do anything.
No, nothing at all.
How can you stop I bring parsley home and in a day it's lost all its essence. How can you stop that happening?
What was that?
When you buy fresh parsley in the market,
Yep.
within 24 hours, no matter what I do with it, how I package it, it's lost all its essence. It doesn't smell like parsley.
Well, what I like to do is, if I have large amounts of parsley, sometimes I have a little garden, which I'm starting to do myself. Sometimes it takes off, especially mint. Mint will take over your entire garden. So what you want to do is, when you bring home any type of fresh herbs from the grocery store, what I like to do is I like to wash it and rinse it right away, and then you pat it dry with some paper towels, and you just leave it on your countertop for a few 10-15 minutes. You want to make sure that it's completely dry before you put it into the fridge. And what you do is you want to wrap it in some paper towel, put it in a Ziploc bag, and put it in your crisp drawer, and that should help it. That should help it last a little longer.
You're using curly parsley. What's the difference between that and the flat leaf? Which is better?
It all depends on the type of dish you're creating.
Like this.
Like this one here, a product that Hannaford's carries. It's excellent for breakfast. It's excellent for sausage sandwiches. What I like to do is I like to make sandwiches out of it. And I just, it's very sticky to work with. So what I like to do is I like to just slice little round circles of it. And you can just go ahead and put it in a sandwich with some mayonnaise or some veggie or anything like that. But for this recipe, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and replace my salami with the sausage here. Now you can certainly mix the two. You can certainly add the sausage and the salami into this dish.
This is vegan.
For meat, this will caramelize, get a nice golden color on there. Yes, I added the juice from the sun-dried tomatoes. Yeah. Now, if you're looking to reduce fat intake, you can certainly saute with water. You don't have to add olive oil, Smart Balance, or Earth Balance. What you want to do is you want to add about a tablespoon of water at a time, and you'll certainly get a caramelization just by using water. All you're doing by caramelizing any type of ingredient is you're bringing out its natural sugar. So you don't need any fat to do that. And what you do is you add a tablespoon of water. Once it evaporates, you go ahead and add another tablespoon of water. Once that evaporates, you can add another tablespoon of water. And you just keep sauteing until you reach the desired color that you're looking for.
Could you bring extra firm tofu?
You just want to go ahead and toss that.
And these are the vegan cats eating their vegan breakfast. He ate this pile and this pile. And after this pile, the .com will finish hers and eat half of that. And what is it? It's tender bits. And it's a grain product. No meat, no cholesterol, no animal products. All the cooking that you saw yesterday was no animal products. Vegan. And this is their vegan cat kibble. These three cats are all vegan. And now all the neighborhood cats are vegan. They come to the door, and they like tender bits, and they like chocolates, and they like the vegan cat food. What? What'd you say? You want your vegan cat food? Okay. Here's your vegan cat food. Vegetarianism means no animal products, but oh no, vegetarianism means no meat, but dairy products. Vegan means no dairy products, no animal products at all. And this is what they like for milk, Rich's coffee. Coffee Rich. And they like vegan ice cream too. Oh, I didn't get a picture of that yesterday. Yesterday, Hattie and I went to Hannaford's and I bought vegan ice cream. And we went to Stewart's and we ordered make your own sundae. Then we took out their animal product, dairy product ice cream full of cholesterol and fat from poor cows who stood in urine and feces all their lives. The smell of which comes clear over the neighborhood 10 lots away. So we took and we had asked them for empty dishes, and then we put our vegan ice cream into the empty dishes, and then we made our own sundaes. This is April 28th, 2008, Monday. This man bought a new hearing aid, and he was extolling its virtues to his friend, telling him how good the hearing aid was, and his friend says, "Well, what kind is it?" And the man said, "About 3 p.m. And now it's God first. God the first thing in the morning. Sit up in bed and just listen. And develop your relationship with God. And the wisdom that you find out and the great things that you learn. On a rainy day, we had sunshine for 16 days. See if you can hear me. One more thing before we go. On bed first thing in the morning. Feed the birdies. Well, here we are sitting up in bed, God first thing in the morning. And that's from 5 a.m., 6 a.m., 6 a.m., 7 a.m. And then at night, 6 p.m. retreat and 7 p.m. retreat. And you don't know a wealth greater than this. I would like to sing you the vegetarian lyrics I wrote to St. Francis's kindness song. All creatures of our God and King, lift up your hearts and let us sing. Thou cows and pigs, leave them alone. The horses, hens, and turkeys too. Save the fish, oh be kind, stop the cruel, just be kind, one with God. Help the dogs and help the cats. Protect the deer and little fawns. Be like Bambi. Feed the animals in the woods. Share with them all your goods. Just be kind. Stop the cruel. Oh, save them. Just be kind. One with God. Thank you, St. Francis. Alone with God the first thing in the morning. 2 hours. What do you do? No, yes you do. You bring the Joy Book up to date. The Joy Book is a record, quarter hour by quarter hour, what you did. And counting blessings, 15, half of every hour, and rejoicing about something every 15 minutes. So you get the Joy Book up to date. The first job, that is the goals. You talk to God about your goals, and you write down your goals. This is a calendar, the time that God has given you. This one's for April, the last few days of April. And the first goal, you talk to God what that is, and you write it out. And you keep working on it, and the more you work on it, the more you hear, the more you intercept, and pretty soon you find out this goal that you want is the same goal that God wants for you. So that's your first goal, whatever it is. These are filled up sheets for April. Your second goal, I write one vertically and then one horizontally. And your third goal, and fourth, and all I have is 5. How far back do these goals go? I would say the 1980s. 30 years. And guess what? They've all been accomplished. This is a mini log. And this is a... No, excuse me, this is an A log. The redacted log. And here's one of the funniest animal pictures I ever saw. What's he saying to her? And then what are the babies? The babies are looking up to him. I would say that this is the papa. And this is mama. And this is baby saying, what are you saying to papa? What are you saying, mama? And this one is looking at us saying, what a situation. And they have purple feet. If this is the mama, and she's saying to the papa, take out the garbage. So, and after the goals comes the devotions. I use our daily bread, put out by the Radio Bible class in Grand Rapids. I'll send you this again. And you read the Bible, and you read meditation on the Bible. You sing a hymn, and you say a prayer for people or animals. Next comes meditation. Would you listen around what you hear, and you meditate as to what you hear create. Look in the words. And these words are very, very helpful. The one who lived through this hurricane, Katrina, in Mississippi, Denise Stevenson, said there were no words to describe it. I can understand what she's saying, but I still have faith. There are words to describe it. I think the English language is a great creation, and I think if you study your words, you will find words to describe it. The words today are acknowledge, acolyte, acquiesce, acquirement, acquisitive, acquit, acquittal, acrid, acrimonious. This word's 91 to 100. I have 239 jewels. Favorite words, 239 of them. So, if you get that all done in your God first time, 2 hours, God first in the morning time, then you just do nothing and see what comes to you. Or you sleep. And then on your retreat at 6 p.m. and 7 p.m. for 2 hours, you thank God for the blessings of the day. Today is Monday, April 27th. April 28th. So you count the blessings for the past 24 hours. the blessings that God has given you. It says in Romans 14:12, for every one of us shall give an account of himself. You account for the time and the riches that God has given you. For instance, dawn, even though there's no sun, and that's good because we need rain. But the tender green leaves, when they first come out, and one of the prettiest times of the years, when the flowers come out. And then you write down what you hear God tells you to do with the day, with the next day. You plan tomorrow. And then you do it. So this is alone time with God the first thing in the morning, 5 a.m. to 6 a.m. And your retreat in the evening, 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. That's the relationship with God. And it takes care of everything. And Jesus Christ was so right. Seek ye first the kingdom of God, and everything else will follow. I have personal knowledge of that, and I want it for you. I want it so much for you. The happiness, the fulfillment, the joy, the attainment, the achievement, the doing, the perfecting, the fulfilling, the realizing. I want it for you.
Race team. So it's a pretty hot car.
Now this is the black Mustang, Bruce's new
You
car.
have to go look at the back of it.
Okay, go look at the back of it.
It's got two nice things on the back.
Woo!
The girls say it's hot.
Oh, Black Beauty.
That was the first thing I put on.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Oh, that's nice. Oh, that's very
Yeah.
nice. And goodbye to the blue Corvette.
Yep. It served me well. Look what happened.
What happened?
On the way back from Kentucky, a guy cut me off, and I had to nick the guide rail to miss him.
Oh.
They already got the check in my pocket, so it'll be fixed in a week.
Oh, it will? He stopped?
No, it was heavy traffic. He never even knew what happened. It went just like bing, and that was it.
Oh, Bruce, I'm sorry.
Well, I'm not, because we saved some lives.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What's this thing that's sticking up, honey?
Oh, look at the bird stuff on it. Oh, gee, your birds. Isn't that nice? Is that the welcome to...
Yeah.
Is that the welcome wagon?
What's the red thing on the wheel?
Those are brakes. Extra heavy duty brakes.
Oh, wow.
Look at that. That just happened. It's not even dry. Don't your birds like me?
Yeah, that's my reward. That's always been my reward. And this is your front plate, huh? And where did you find it, Bruce?
What do you mean?
Well, yesterday you called me up and said
No,
you're
I
looking.
didn't say that. I said I didn't have a front plate bracket
Yes, so where'd you find it?
at the car dealer. And you watch. You've never seen